You have to say stupid things.
Ryan. It's so hot. It's not that hot.
Shh.
All right. Now, again, what I'm going to do, I think primarily for today, is I'd kind of like to just go through and set the problems up, and then you solve them. All right, that's what I'm hoping we can do. All right, because there are a lot of just certain formulas that you need to know how to do. The circle part, writing the equation, is kind of important, so I need to review that for sure. All right, so do as much as this you can tonight, and then tomorrow we'll try to finish it up. All right. So, question number 1. Remember, the product of the parts are always equal. All right, so in this case, we would just say 5 times x is equal to 11 times 11. All right? Any questions with the rule?
And you don't have to solve it, right?
Later, solve it is what I'm saying. If you want to take the time right now and solve it on your paper, go ahead. I'm trying to tell you, I think it's better for me to set the problems up. If we have to go into further detail about how to solve a particular problem, I will. All right?
She did.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Number 2, here we go.
8x equals 36.
8x equals 36. Number 3.
20x equals 147.
20x equals 147.
Oh, this is the outside.
All right. That's exactly right. So here we have the outside times the whole length,
10
which
times
is
18. No, 10 times 80.
No.
That's 18. Yeah, I was right.
is equal to.
If you go to x times x plus 4.
Okay, look. In order for me to do this seriously, it's too annoying hearing you guys argue about it. Just say what you think and move on. I don't care who's right or wrong. That's all. I appreciate hearing your opinion. All right, but let's just go forward. We're not arguing.
X times x plus 3.
X times x plus 3. All right. Now, on this one, I want to take a look at it a little bit closer because it is a quadratic. All right. So we have x squared plus 3x minus 180 equals 0. All right. Now, can this factor?
That's the quadratic formula.
Well, how do you know it can't factor?
Because
180 is not 15 times 12. So again, let's just say you didn't see that, right? I personally think it's better if you use your calculator. Yeah, I want you to practice using your calculator right now. All right. Although this does factor, right?
So then x equals 12.
So it would be x plus 15 and x minus 12. So x equals negative 15 and x equals 12. Negative 15 is your extraneous solution. So 12 is your answer. Now, please practice using your calculator. The first thing I want you to type in is x squared plus 3x minus 180. Then when you graph it, the window is does not allow you to see where it crosses the x-axis. So some does, some does not. All right, depending on how your window was set up. All right. So if you're having trouble, remember, I want you to go to Zoom Standard, and that puts it into a normal screen. All right. Now, what you want to do is you want to expand the x, positive side of x. So I'd like everybody to go to Window and enlarge the x. So change the x max to 20, please. And then graph. So go to Window. Go to x max. Change that to 20. So the 0, right? Now hit graph.
I see a lot.
Now move over here. So now you can see where it crosses. All right. Now once you've done that, you need to find the 0, which is second calc 2. Which is second calc 2. All right.
Oh, it is. I did it. I'm trying to go. Let me go first. What is making it from the 20th?
Okay, so here's another good question. Remember now, right now, the answer is, right here, the answer is 12. If you're in Zoom Standard, you're not going to see 12 because it only goes
it's
to
12.
10. So if you go to 20, now 12 is in the domain.
The answer is about 20.
Yes, exactly. You change it to whatever. All right, you change it to whatever. All right. So again, now my question is, there's nothing I can do to help you with your calculator unless you participate. All right, I don't mind even walking around trying to help some of you. All right, is everybody comfortable? That's a powerful tool if you know how to use it, especially for the standardized test. All right, is everybody okay with 12 now? All right. Now let's move on. All right. So again, number 5 will be set up the same way.
15 times 32 equals x times x.
Good. All right. And then practice doing that tonight so you can solve that. All right. Now, thank you. Perfect. And again, practice solving that tonight. Now I'm on number 7.
Multiply 6 minus 36 equals x multiplied by n minus x squared. No, 2x.
You're right.
X squared.
X plus X, right? Yes, you're right. I'm saying you're right. It's this plus the whole thing. You're saying 2x. I was trying to do.
2x squared.
So in this case, we would say 36 is equal to x times 2x minus 3. 36 equals 2x squared minus 3x. Agree? And so now 2x squared minus 3x minus 36 equals 0. Yeah. Yep. Well, because when I distribute the x, it became x squared. Right? You good? All right, here we go.
Whoa.
X. Can we just square?
Keep where's it doing this?
20 times 45.
Why is it doing this? Each time I hit enter, it's like doing weird stuff. See how I have this? If I hit enter, it moves.
Yeah. If it doesn't come out to be an exact number, that means it was just an irrational.
And round to the 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so after you hit guess and it says x equals
That's your answer.
okay, but you said
Right? Because it didn't work out to be like 5.5, the answer would be like a square root.
okay.
So it wasn't factorable. All right. Okay, number 9, just to make sure again, x times 2x minus 6 equals 20 squared. Remember, this is the one that's hard because it's x plus the whole thing.
So then 2x squared minus 6x.
Wait a minute.
Minus 400.
Now wait a minute. I'm might have made a mistake when I said
Then you can divide by 2.
that's x times
Yeah. I thought
x
2x minus x.
outside. Oh yeah, that was right. I was
You're
right.
right.
That was right.
Yeah. So I was
Outside
right.
times the whole thing.
How? I said that.
Now, number 10 is the one I think that is kind of hard, that occurs on lots of standardized tests. All right. Now, it looks extremely difficult until you learn to just draw the center or find the center. All right. I don't know where the center is, but I know it's somewhere about right there. All right. Now, watch what you're doing. From here to here is called the what?
Radius.
That's called the radius. All right. Now, if I draw from here to here, this is the tricky part. You want to make it perpendicular, correct? So it bisects the chord. So this length right here would be 4.5. Now the one that's well disguised, which hopefully somebody already just said it, I think. What is this length right here?
R minus 3.
That is in fact R minus 3. All right, that was tricky, okay?
Wait, I don't see how.
Okay, let me show you why it's R minus 3. All right, the reason why it's R minus 3 is because and now we do the Pythagorean theorem. So we have R minus. Now, the nice thing about this is that the R squareds will cancel. So it's not really a quadratic. All right, so it's not a difficult thing. You just have to expand R minus 3 properly. All right, when you expand R minus 3, you should be able to tell me.
R squared minus 6R equals.
Right, and what's 4 point, is that 20.25, I think?
Yeah.
It's 6R again, remember, because R minus 3 times R minus 3. Negative 3 makes negative 6. You good with me?
29.25
That's where the plus 9 came from here.
Wait,
It's 4.875.
are you gonna continue so?
Yep.
I'm sorry, think about it for a second. Once you have that whole equation written out, how do you solve it?
The R squareds cancel.
Yeah.
So 6R equals 29.25.
Okay, got it.
All right, here we go.
Wait, right.
It's 4.875.
Thank you. Now, number 11. Again, the same parts. It's 6y equals 27. Now, on the multiple choice here, we would say 3 times 8 is equal to 2 times x. All right. That's what I said. 2 times x plus 2. All right. Okay, number 13. Okay.
17.
Yes. Very good.
17 squared is
Okay.
29.
Now, the square root of 289 is the radius, but I would like for you to make sure that you write this down. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared.
Can you just write those through that?
So h and k is considered the center,
Yeah.
and r is considered the radius.
Okay.
Why is H and K?
Oh, then you took the
Honestly,
square
I
root
don't
of
know why they
289.
use h and k.
You took the square root of 289.
Oh,
So in this case, we have r squared is equal to 289. So r is equal to 17. All right. Now, this one's kind of nice because it says find the equation of the circle with center at 0, 0, which means it's just x squared plus y squared equals 4 squared, which is 16. You'll see in a minute. We got lots to go. All right. Now, number 15 again. 4 times 14 is equal to x times x plus 1. All right, again, practice solving that. 16 is another good one. X times x plus 6 equals 5 times 8.
Oh, I thought the 5 was
So yes, x squared plus 6x minus 40 equals 0. So that one, yeah, that one does factor. So that's not a big deal. All right. So let's take a look at what it says on 17. If AB is tangent, find x and y. All right. So they're saying that this length right here is 2.
3 times 12 equals.
So why?
3 times 7 is equal to, thank you, 2 times 2 plus y. You can also say 3 times 7 is equal to,
You should do x plus 7, x minus 2.
But the x.
Or no, that's wrong.
Wait.
There's a 2.
The x doesn't go in the circle though.
Wait, I did x. Oh, you're just saying yes.
so I just, instead of using the middle one,
So, is that just like they gave you both?
You can do either solve for x and y.
all right. Okay, find the coordinates of the center. So this one should be relatively easy. So if I'm trying to find the center,
11 comma. Negative 11 comma.
Yeah.
Oh, that was right. Let's go.
Wait,
You weren't expecting it to be radius.
go ahead. What?
No, you don't.
Not everything's factorable.
It's 15.
15.
I know I squared.
Yes, determine the radius. All right, that's not a big deal. 15.
Wait. What the? 25.
Square root of 625 is 15.
it's just a square of the radius.
Okay, here we go. Now, this is the one where we need to practice. So if you're distracted, you kind of want to listen for a second. All right. So on question number 20, you're going to have to write it in the correct format to be able to tell me what the center and radius is. All right. So to do this, we have to complete the square. So to do that, we group the x's. X squared minus 12x. We leave a space. Y squared plus 14y. Leave a space equals negative 4.
And then you do the over.
But you take half
You
the
get
x
multiply
squared.
by the 1.
You take half and square. That's correct.
So half of 7, 49. Oh my.
Right?
Half of 12 is 6.
Oh, I'm doing 14. I'm doing 14.
6
It's
squared
36.
is
Yeah. I'm doing
36.
14.
Isaac, we got it. Plus 36. All right. Now remember, if you add it to the left side, you have to add it to the right side. All right. So now you're taking half and square of 14, which is 49. So this would be. Now, remember this. Whenever you complete the square, it will always factor into whatever the half was. All right. So the half of negative 12 was, so it's x minus 6 squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 81. Good.
Well, it will always be.
Always. It always factors to whatever the half was. That's why you're creating the perfect square. All right?
The half of the
And that's
x and y variable, or the half, or the.
Why don't you look up at the board and tell me what it is? What are you taking half of? If the answer is 6.
12y.
So what did you take half of? Shh.
12x.
The 12.
Okay, I was just okay, so the answer is 6, comma, -7.
So the center would be 6, -7. If they ask you for the radius would be 9. All right?
Wait,
Again, I don't care what they ask. I just want you to know both things. Come on, Sam.
so the center, find the center is whatever the half of that.
Now, I don't want you to think of it like that. What I want you to do is, I want you to know what we're doing is we're completing the square. So to complete the square, you take half and square the middle term.
Yeah.
You hear me? Then you factor it. It always factors into whatever the half is. You hear me on this?
Yeah.
So now you have the equation set up. So now you're just simply referring to this.
Oh, okay.
You with me? I don't want you to remember anything else but that. That's the general form for the equation of a circle. All right? Now, again, write the equation of the circle whose center is at -3, -2, and is also tangent to the y-axis. Now, again, this is a common question on SATs. All right? So we know what the center is, so we know it would be x plus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals r squared. We don't know what the radius is, but we know the circle is tangent to the y-axis. So if it's tangent to the y-axis, most people make a mistake and they put 4.
Why would they put
But it's not 4, it's what?
Where do you get 4?
I think it's 9.
9. Yeah,
Why
that's
is it
-3.
9?
Negative
All right.
2.
So here's how I want you to think about it. If you're just generalizing, the center is -3, -2, which would put it about right here. Everybody agreeing with me? All right. So if it's tangent to the y-axis, that means from here to here is what they're referring to. Right? Everybody agree with that? So that distance is what?
3.
That distance is 3. The radius is 3. All right. So to put it into the formula is 3 squared, which is 9.
So if it's tangent to the y-axis,
I'm not asking you to remember that. I'm asking you to think about it. Don't just. I don't like that. You got to think each time.
but if it's tangent to the y-axis, it's the x coordinate squared, right?
Generalize like that. That's fine.
No, but like, is that right?
I don't want you. You're not hearing me. Yes, of course that's right because that's what we did. I'm trying to show you. I may say tangent to the x-axis.
So we did the y coordinate.
Okay, there you go. But instead of trying to remember all these little different scenarios, because trust me, I have a lot of scenarios down here. I don't want you memorizing the scenario. I want you to think about each problem differently. All right? Some people are good at memorizing. I don't want you to memorize. I actually want you to try to understand what we're doing. All right? That's much better. Much better. That's why you won't hear me say, okay, do this if this, do this if this. Every single problem I think about. All right? That's what I want you to do. All right? Especially on the SAT. That makes you a much better standardized test taker. All right? Go. Okay. So they want the equation of the circle whose center is at -3, -2. So you should be able to quickly tell me this is half of the problem, which isn't a problem. Do you agree or not? That was the easy part. We don't know what the radius is. But they say the circle is tangent to the y-axis. So if the tangent if it's tangent to the y-axis, that means it touches the y-axis at a single point. So if I were to draw this, you watching? And then this is my circle that's created. You with me on that? So this is the circle that is created. Right? So what's the radius? That's right. And what I was trying to tell them, most kids, because they say tangent to the y-axis, most kids look at the y value. Right? But it's not, because you have to think about where you're at and you're trying to move to the y-axis. When you're moving towards the y-axis, you're changing the x. That's how you're supposed to be thinking about it. Thank you, Chancellor. Welcome.
From a center, so basically if it's saying a center is tangent to anything that's a radius.
Yes, of course. Right? Why is that?
Because it's tangent goes from the part to the
Well, it's saying that it only touches at one point. Right? So if it wasn't tangent, that means if I drew it this way, it would go through multiple times. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes.
Okay, so if it said, I'm just saying, if it said tangent to the x-axis, would the radius be 2, and then it would make r squared 4?
That's what we. Yes. Welcome.
Are we gonna have to draw circles?
I have not made anything up. It's one day at a time for me, man.
So the equation would just be x plus 3 squared plus y plus 3 squared.
Wow, thank you. None. Easy as that. All right. Here we go. All right. This is the one that was kind of hard. All right. So x squared plus y squared equals 25.
So 0, 0 is the coordinates, and 20 and 5 is the radius. I mean, 0, 0
What am I trying to find? Let's start with that.
5 is coordinate to the point of the intersection.
Okay, so what am I going to do for this problem? Hold up. I'm listening to it.
Put it in the y minus k or h minus k.
It's already there. What?
You're trying to find the slope.
No.
You have to put it in slope intercept form.
What am I trying to do?
Find where the
Right, so basically what we have is this. We have a circle and we have a line, and I'm trying to find these 2 points. That's what we're trying to do. When we read, it says, find the coordinates of the point of intersection. We're trying to find where the points, where the line intersects the circle. That's all. All right? Now, what I want you to think about is they're going, when they touch, they are equal. Do you agree with that? So the problem here, it doesn't have the same format. So you have to solve that for y or for x and then substitute in. All right? So let's look at that. So I have 5, actually, I hope you can do this. Y is equal to, it would be negative 5, 6, x plus 5. Is everybody good with that? We just solved this for y. All right? So to divide by y, you move the 5, it becomes negative 5x. Then we divide by 6. So it's negative 5, 6x. And then 30 divided by 6 is 5. Everybody good with that? All right, now the annoying part. Try to stay with me. Wherever I see a y, I can put what?
Negative 6x.
Exactly, guys. Here we go. So x squared plus parentheses. Let me see that. Everybody see that? Now, who feels like doing the math on that? Definitely not me.
Ryan, no.
Right. Definitely not. All right. The reason why is because it's a little complicated. There's some fractions in there. Do you agree? All right. So now this is the case where we can use our calculator to help us. All right. So what I mean by that is under y1, I want you to type in this equation right here. Under y1, type in x squared plus parentheses negative 5, 6x plus 5, close it, squared. And then under y2, I want you to put what?
25.
I want you to put 25. Please listen. If you have a question, let me know. Yes.
Why is in the first thing you wrote, why is it -5?
6? Because I moved. That's a good question. I moved the 5x over, true?
Oh, okay, got it.
So
Wait,
that's
how
what
do
it's-
you do it?
No, we're not doing equals. You automatically comes up under y1, you're typing in, please listen, under y1, you're typing in this equation. Right? And now under y2, you're typing in what? Y- No, I'm not going to be wrong here. Type in what I'm telling you. Under y2, type in 25. Listen, what I'm trying to show you. You're trying to find where the equations are equal. That's what you're trying to do. Now, honestly, she is correct. You could move the 25 over and say minus 25 and then find the intercepts, the x-intercepts. But I'm trying to show you something a little bit different now. All right? In case you're going to have two different equations, you have to set them equal to each other. All right? Now, hear me, please. If you graph, I have no idea what the graph looks like, and I really don't even care. I'm trying to find where they intersect. Does everybody agree? Does everybody agree they're going to intersect when the y value is what?
25.
When the y value is 25. If that doesn't make sense to you, let me know. All right, so now you're going to change the range, which is the y value, to change it to like 30. Very good. All right, change it to like 30. You go to window, and then you go to y max. Y max. And then go down and change it to 30. All right. Now I have no idea what the answer is. All right. So when you hit graph, all right. Now syntax means you just didn't type it in correctly. And usually the syntax error is your plus and minus. All right. You actually plug in a minus instead of a negative. All right. That's generally what it is.
Oh, I got this thing. And do I do trace?
So now you're trying to
I
find
got
out.
this.
I didn't get that.
Right.
I
got it.
changed it.
I would see this.
I still don't
Is this
see
right?
it.
It's like
So 0. Does 0 work? 0 for x. Yes, 0, 5 is an answer. So x equals 0 works.
that's like the
It's
third
still
part.
not
Wait,
right.
that doesn't make any sense though.
Yeah, because it's like this. Still not right.
Yeah.
This is wrong.
Maybe it's like
One max, 30, and one minimum. Like trading one minimum. I wasn't that bad. I was wondering if you're
What do you do once you get to the little intersection? You find out where the X point is. How? Oh, like this. And it's 0. And it's 0. X equals 0, but all
Okay.
you have to know is the X.
Now, listen, once this is on your calculator, you're calculating the point of intersection. Yes, second comp intersects. Good job.
Hey.
What is it again? Okay, what is it again? So what's the
Okay, that's great.
what do you have to like? What do you have to practice? Practice again now.
oh, that's what I tried.
You're supposed to find. Okay, what do you want to find? You want to find x, right? Obviously. Here's the little thingy right there. See how it's like in the very middle? You can like do the white box. X is 0 and Y is 24.
Yeah, so it's just 5x plus 6y plus 30. The first one for that is not any special way, but it was like 6y plus x and 6y. Oh, yes, then you divided 6y.
If that's all
So
right.
that's 6y. You took the 6 from 30. That's number 5. And then you got the 6 from negative 5x. Wait, so never 5 divided by 6.
I know everything I'm saying.
You figured out which calculator.
I know. I have a bunch of calculators. You're not asking me. Or how do you know what to do if you don't have a calculator? Could one of these be yours? I don't know. People just leaving things in here. Runners off. That's it. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Speak up. I'm not a mind reader.
So how do we like what do we express again that thing like X equals 4.9?
That's just that.
So how do you get 4.9? No, go second count. Second count.
And the intersection comes to be 5.
And 4.9 more
So
seconds.
this is not 5. It's not 5. Right?
That's one.
Okay, listen, please, one more time.
Oh, because they don't know the.
Come on, intersection. And then enter. And then it finds the point of intersection. X. And then find the other one. And do it again. Your cursor close to the other point. All right, how much time do we have? Hey, how much time do we have? Okay,